In this lesson, we'll finish rigging our reverse foot bones. Now it's just a matter of going in and applying constraints so that we can get this working. Now before we actually get into constraints, I'd like to quickly bring your attention back to another issue we get without using the reverse foot rig. If we were to go ahead and select our IK handle and start to lift up this chain, you can see that the foot is automatically oriented. And that may look somewhat natural, but the problem is, let's say if this character needed to step on a platform afterwards. Well, from an animation standpoint, this is very problematic because that foot would never straighten out. It'd always be at a slant. So by working with this reverse foot rig, it also helps us to avoid an issue like that, so we can get full control over the rotation of the ankle. Alright, so let's say we go ahead and get started with our constraints. Firstly, what we want to go ahead and do is point constrain our IK handle to our reverse lock ankle. So let's go ahead and take care of that. With the ankle selected first, we select the IK handle second, what we'd like to control, and head over to constrain, point constrain, and just looking at the options, I'll reset the settings. Here we're just using the default settings. We'll choose add, and now notice as we start to move this ankle joint, it's going to control the position of our IK handle. Alright, now we need to set up rotation constraints to finish this. What we basically want to do is take this ball reverse lock joint and constrain it to our ankle. So as we rotate the ball, it's actually controlling the rotation of the ankle to get that lifting up. So to do this, again, select the reverse lock ball first, shift select the ankle bone, head over to constrain, orientation constraint options. Alright, now let me go ahead and show you this. If we were to just go ahead and hit apply, our bone is going to flip out. The reason why is because the orientation of our reverse lock chain and our ankle bone are different. So Maya does that to kind of correct that rotation problem. So this bone is actually still going to control the ankle, but it's going to, of course, still remain flipped. Now what's nice about Maya's constraints is that it gives us the ability to maintain our offset so that we can avoid that flipping problem. So if we were to go ahead and check on maintain offset and choose apply, notice that flipping does not occur, and as we start to rotate that ball joint, it'll behave the way we'd expect it to. Great, so that saves us a lot of work, that maintain offset option. Alright, so the last rotation constraint we need to set up is between our reverse lock toe and our ball bone. So again, we select the toe bone, shift select our main ball bone, and go ahead and apply this orientation constraint with a maintain offset. And here's what we get as we start to rotate this toe up. Here's our toe roll. Alright. And if we were to go ahead and head over to our ball bone and start to rotate that, notice how that foot's going to remain planted as we rotate it up. It's going to get to a certain point where, of course, it'll start to separate, but that's no problem at all. Alright, so here's our reverse foot rig working for us. And also notice this. If we were to go ahead and take that heel joint and start to move that around, notice how that foot is going to remain planted. It's not going to offset in its rotation. So what we'd want to do then is actually build a foot control and tie this joint in to that foot control so that the animator has something a little bit easier to work with. Alright, but that's the step for setting up the reverse foot rig. We can go ahead and do that to the right side just so you can become more familiar with this process. So again, you select the reverse lock ankle, shift select the IK handle, do a point constraint. The next step, select the reverse lock ball joint, shift select the ankle, and go ahead and run an orient constrain with maintain offset. And then the last step is to select the reverse lock toe and orient constrain the ball joint to it. So select the toe, select the ball joint, orient constraint. And there we have it. Great. And again, we'll also get our heel roll this way. Well, that's going to finish this lesson. In the next lesson, we need to start working on foot control. So that's where we'll bring our attention.